Second opinion with Dr. Manolo. How are you? We are with you again because today, 29th of November, we are coming with a big lie in the U.S. But we are going to be analyzing the spiritual
part of it, a combination of.
With Marta Garcia, our theologist. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Hi, friends, family. How are you doing today? I hope that you really enjoy your Thanksgiving, surrounded by your friends and family, loving each other, eating delicious food as we did.
Thanksgiving was not a lie. It was a truth.
The Thanksgiving, our Thanksgiving is the truth.
Okay. I was mentioning before in the Spanish section about the lies we have in the U.S. starting with the election. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about the election? Because you were living here so many elections in the past, but this specific one, wow, for me was a completely lie.
It was, there were so many things that were moving the environment. The first that we noticed in the debates, we didn't see the same courtesy, the same people being cordial to each other. It was a lot of it was like kind of extreme, you know. And if we notice the things for which Democrats stand and Republicans stand, completely opposite. It's like if we were literally fighting for good and bad, life and death.
Yes,
incredible.
Now, I was watching counting the votes. We know in the U.S. we have Democrat states and Republican states. But we have 9 states. They used to be as a pendulum. It was with this party today, in 4 years to this party. And that states they are Pennsylvania, Iowa, Georgia, Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, North Carolina, and Florida. Still they are recounting the votes.
That tells you a lot.
26 days after the election.
A lot. Because remember the experiences that we have with some of our friends here in California. We had some experiences with some friends that they decided to go vote to almost towards the end. And when they were ready to cast the votes, they told them they were voting already. They voted already. So they were really upset and confused. And I don't know if they were allowed to vote again, but it was really something.
Yeah, you know? Some people really dead already, they gave a vote as well to the Democrat Party.
Exactly. They were able to manipulate certain votes. And we don't say this because we hear it. It's because we see it with some of our friends here in California. So we're telling you personal experiences. We are not creating this. This is not fake news. This is what really happened with some of our friends. So, and because of those experiences, and we start questioning, if this happened in a very small place, what could have happened to a big scale? So then that's why we're not 100% sure that really Mr. Biden won. I think President Trump won the election. My observation and my conviction, I think he won, but because of every situation that is at stake, especially uncovering all the dirty secrets of a lot of powerful people, I mean, that tells you a lot.
Before this election, I was listening from I could say colleagues or journalists from around the world. They say, oh, in America you live the best democracy in the world. I say, I was thinking it was. But what happened in this election, say, what is happening in this election happened in the past? I say, I don't think so. Or maybe yes.
Probably, but it was less noticeable than now.
But when Joe Biden say, oh, he was elected because of the 18 media network in the US, they say, he won. And Donald Trump said, no, there is a fraud, I won. So when you say two, the one who was running the country, it is still running, Donald Trump, and the other one competing to be president. The both they say, I won. Say, what is going on? He looks like a banana country, or what is it?
Yeah, as I said, it's a lot of going on. However, I think the fact that they're recounting and they're doing a lot of, we're still in the middle of that.
26 days is still recounting.
We're still in the middle of that because, of course, people that experience some kind of irregularities in the voting polls are coming to say, I noticed this, I was an observer, and I noticed this and that. So that is the reason why it's arising some doubts on the winner. However, if let's say that Mr. Biden won, let's assume he won. What we are expecting to happen is really awful.
Okay, we will go a little after with this. I was checking about the media. When I went to the university to study to be a journalist, I am for 35 years investigative or investigator journalist. They say the truth. All the time say the truth. I say, they don't say the truth.
That was back in the days when doctors have moral compasses.
Yes.
Journalists have moral compasses, and they have a very deep conviction on being honest and telling the truth. That was their purpose in life, right? Being a journalist equals to have truth exposing to the public. Nowadays, it's not like that.
Something I was watching it is here in the U.S. I didn't see in the other countries. If you own this media network, TV, radio, newspaper, you can say, I'm supporting this candidate. It doesn't happen in the other countries. Means you are going to be talking good about your candidate.
Bias.
And talking bad against the other guy. What is the media purpose to be creating to give the information to the people? No longer
truth, no longer impartial, no longer neutral. It is, and we need to understand too that people that work for these networks, they are employees. So they need to do whatever they told to do. Okay. And whomever owns this part of the media is the one that tells them what to say, even though it might not be true, or it might be a true and a lie coming together, or a lie that sounds like truth, enough to influence the people, the citizens, to believe this way, or to have tendencies to believe this way, or to put a seed of doubt or a seed of division.
So now to be a journalist paying by somebody means it is like you are an accounting of this company. You have to do for the company. You are a journalist, but you have to say whatever you was said to say, even that this is not true.
It could not be true, and then because, as I say, the employees, they have to say what they told to do. So that leads us to believe that there's a lot of fake news. That's why we say, or at least we don't believe everything we see because of that. We can really not confirm everything they say because a lot of those news are not true.
So the independent journalists like us means we can say the truth regardless because we don't have a boss.
We can say what we find out, and then you need to make your choice.
Let's talk to the next. I was trying to talk about the health issues. It was my personal experience. Like on November 10, I went to the hospital because I needed to check and was feeling bad. They found an obstruction of my intestine. They say it could be like too much work or too much stress. But the situation is when I came into the hospital, they made already the COVID test, and they say you have to be, we don't have here beds now in the whole building, you need to move to the building where the COVID guys are there. I say, I don't want to go there. So my friend was telling me, if you go to the hospital, do not accept you have the COVID because
you might not come out.
Exactly. So I told to the doctor, do whatever you need to do, but I don't want to go to that building. 3 days after, I say, I want to go home. I want to go home. Because you see what is going on. Yeah. So this is another lie. We were talking about the election was a lie, about the media is a lie, about in this case, the COVID is a lie. They are inflating the numbers. They are inflating the numbers, not only how many people they dead, no, how many people they are infected. If they are infected, how many they really get sick. So
yes.
It is a lie.
So there is a lot of lies, like you said, with the intention to manipulate the citizens or to give them a tendency to believe this way or this other way. Now, the truth is that we must analyze everything that comes across to us and not only listen to one source, because believe us, this is really, we're living a very apocalyptic times, and we must be very, very aware.
When you talk about that, I'm getting scared.
Well, I think we should be concerned, and a lot of people is getting scared.
But before we go to that point, let's check about the vaccination.
Vaccination. Well, I think the vaccine, it is another way to manipulate people, because the way I have observe the order of the situation is first they're gonna inject as much fear as possible, so you are so scared, and they give you false statistics, false information, so they can send you home, they can close the business, and they can control you in a way. Okay, so now let's say the COVID is almost gone, but now they have this time that they continuously repeat that COVID-19, 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 to a point that a lot of people believe that, and their actions and their behavior is showing us that they are really terrified. So now that they're terrified, they are going to offer you a solution so you don't die of COVID. But I wanna say something else. When we look at the COVID-19, we should not be looking at the amount of people infected. We should look at the mortality rate, and that is where our point is. You know, we personally come across with at least 10 people that have COVID-19. Out of those 10 people, 1 died because of age and because they have certain conditions. Okay, now we cannot prove that that person died of COVID-19 because it could have been the death certificate out there, and he could have died of something else.
It happened to my brother.
I was talking about him. I just didn't want to say the name. But anyway, you said it. So then we can prove that that person died of COVID-19 because we were not there, right? And then but they could have falsified the death certificate.
Yeah.
So that was one. The other person had very intense symptoms, but he survived in 10 days, 15 days, he was back. The other 8 people, they were infected, but they have no symptoms.
Yeah.
So out of 10 people, only 1 died. So if we look at the mortality rate, it is going to be a different perspective.
Numbers,
Because think about this. They will not send us home because of the AIDS, because of the swine fever, because of other illness that are on the air that are way more severe than COVID-19.
Yeah.
So that tells you something too.
So it is another lie. What about
it's
the
another
vaccine?
manipulation, another lie. Now, okay, they put fear into you. Now they're going to say, okay, if you are a responsible citizen and you want to protect the people, you must be vaccinated. So now they come with a forced vaccination, and that is going to bring me to the point where we cannot deny what the Bible said. The Bible tells us about every single of the things that we're seeing right now in the book of Revelation 13. Okay, and it says specifically that it's going to be a time when people will not be working. Okay, we're seeing that happening right now. And then it's going to come a time where people are not going to be able to buy or sell or travel or do anything else unless they have the mark of the beast. Now, the mark of the beast is not the 666 number, my friends. The mark of the beast is the mark of the system that we're living on. That is a Luciferian system, or it's called to the system of the beast. Luciferian system.
Especially in, I could say, the G7 countries.
Exactly. We have a Luciferian system, or it's called the system of the beast as well. So meaning, if you are not with the system, if you don't do everything they impose for you to give you the right to live with decency and dignity, then you are an outcast. So if you refuse to take the vaccine, you might not be able to buy or sell or travel. Right now, we have a lot of restrictions in some places and some countries that are not letting you in if you don't go 14 days in quarantine. And then there's another, I read about a country in Europe that was working on the process of imposing the vaccination, like forcing vaccination.
To whoever comes to the country.
See, whomever comes or whomever leaves there, because they're really like going with the flow. They're going with the program. So what is expecting us is really very dark. It's a very dark era. And as I said, you need to read the book of Revelation number 13 and see by yourself what it says. And you are going to see how the book of Revelation start unfolding before your own eyes with all these things that we have sin, and all of the lies that have been created in order to put us in the point that we are right now.
3 weeks ago, when I get sick, I went to the downtown LA in order to be getting some paperwork at the official meetings from the state for what I'm doing now. And I was there for 12 hours altogether, the whole day, not eating, not drinking, because all the restaurants, all the business were closed.
LA
So
right
the
now
impact
is in a
for me
shutdown.
was even it's harder than what I was feeling, but because of my body. No, it was emotionally. I say, what I saw in that town LA, it's unbelievable.
It's shocking, right? It's
And
different
it is
to
happening.
see it than to talk about
And
it.
it is happening in the top 1,000 cities in the U.S. When you see that, and you see like the countries starting to collapse, wow, it shocks you.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why it's important that you, first of all, don't be afraid, but at the same time, open your mind, open your heart, and give some room to your Creator. This is the only one
Exactly. I was
that is
going to
gonna
ask you that because we were maybe scaring the people. No, that's not the intention. Just telling you the truth and the life we are living. But for you, there is a nice message talking about the spirituality. Say that because we need to call down the.
Yeah. What is coming to us, that's why a lot of people is fighting to clarify the election. Because if Mr. Biden wins, what is expecting is a lockdown completely, and forced vaccination, and the manifestation of a one world order that some presidents have been talking about for years. Okay, one new world order, one new way to be, which is definitely a way to enslave humanity.
Yes.
Okay,
Total
because if
control
we
of
have
you.
totally control of your thoughts, your actions, and eventually if you don't fit with the system, well, you are
You're out.
out of it. Yes. So then we are.
Don't
we
go
are
this way because they scare me.
we are walking towards the one world order, one government, one
Yes.
leadership,
One
okay?
man, one coin,
One coin,
one religion.
and one religion. We are just walking towards
no
that
food.
place, and no food too. Because think about it: if we have a second close down, where are we going to get our resources? Where are we going to get our food?
It's unbelievable.
We're not going to have transportation. We are going to get our resources.
And they
So-
are talking from December to March. Impossible. Just impossible. You cannot survive.
In 3 months, with the things that have
4
happened
months.
recently, 3, 4 months, 6 more months, a lot of people is going to die.
We're done.
I guarantee you that. A lot of
Yes.
people is going to die. And then because of that, they're going to take that as an excuse to
Yes.
force the vaccination. And now, what are you going to do?
Talk about spirituality, the best part of that.
Okay, let's give hope. My friends, listen. These perilous times are scary. But at the same time, we must be aware. We cannot deny the truth of the Bible, the truth of the guidelines that our Creator gave us to have a peaceful, prosperous life. Now, you might say, how can we have peace in this situation?
Yes,
How
you
can
can.
we be at peace? Well, let's remember what the Psalm 23 says. Even though we are on a shadow of death, we should not be afraid because God is with us and He's going to give us direction and protection. And even though all these things are happening, if we are connected with the Creator and we believe in His promises, we could see death, tribulation, turmoil, but He is our provider. He is the one that protects us. And He's coming back again to do away with all this evil that is affecting the creation, that is destructing the creation. And that's our hope. That's what we're going to transmit to you. You might not believe it, but I would say it's time for you to at least consider it. Because I'm telling you, when this gets worse, police is not going to come to save you. That is for sure. The government, even less. They probably be hiding on the Antarctica, on their bunkers with food and party, while we are left behind to fend for ourselves. So they're not going to help you. The police, Nothing else. You know who's
So
going to
that
be
is the
there
only
to help
solution.
you? God. And you know who's going to come to help you? Friends and family. So be good to your neighbors.
Yes.
Be good to your family,
And buy
because
food.
right now we must help each other. If you have some additional funds, be kind enough to get emergency food, emergency water, so you can help your community. Because I'm telling you, my friends, this coming to pass is going to be very difficult not to be afraid. So I'm telling you this. Do not be afraid. Open your heart and your mind to your Creator. Open the Bible. Pray to God Almighty. And get together with your community to give hope. And not only we are going to go through that, but God Almighty is going to come and take us to a different place and just clean the earth from all these evil doers. So don't be afraid. This is the hope that we
Let's keep
leave
that
you with.
because the time is up.
Time's up, as always happen, but don't be afraid. Keep praying. Oh, and I want to have a message for all those people that are seeing us from Georgia. We need to fight for Georgia, my friends. Georgia must to win the Republican seat if we want to get a better outcome. We keep on fighting, we keep on believing, but we must be together. Thank you for being with us today, and
We'll see you
God
next.
bless you.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.